Hi, everybody. Welcome another episode of LENO'S Garage. You all know Bernard Juchli, our shop foreman. He's up here racing the Hagerman Jaguar over here. Now, if you don't remember this car, we did a web shoot on it a couple of years ago. Go to the search function there and type in Jaguar and you'll see it. It's a fantastic car, but you're having some problems, Bernard. What's going on?
It's not running well, and I think we have ignition problem with the electronic ignition.
See, points and distributors. You put that fancy electronic stuff in, and
that's what we're going back
this is what happens. This is what happens.
Back to points and distributor.
Well, while Bernard is fixing that, I'm going to walk around the pits. I'm going to show you some fascinating cars, what I think are fascinating cars. My favorite era is, of course, pre-16, the beginning of racing. And we'll show you a bunch of cars, and I think you'll enjoy it. So, Bernard, you better get to work.
I am.
See you later. This is our trailer. Once again, in the pits at Laguna Seca. This is David Duthu. Am I saying that right?
That's
okay.
correct, yeah.
This is his car, what, 48, 49 Lago?
That's exactly right. The car was built between 48, 49 season and raced actually in 49 and 50 season.
Now, Lago is one of those mysterious names to most Americans. Can you give us a little history of the car and exactly what we have here?
Well, it's a really incredible car. Everyone knows it as a French car, but it was actually Talbot based, and then Mr. Lago, who was actually English, ended up buying the company and taking the car and building some wonderful road cars.
What do they have here? 6-cylinder?
It's a 6-cylinder, 4.5 liters.
Wow, big motor.
Big motor. It's twin ignition systems, 2 spark plugs per cylinder. It's a mid-level cam assembly with sharp push rods into the valve train, which is pretty unique.
Okay, single cam.
One on each side, but they're down here in the box.
Gotcha. Okay, okay.
So it's really unique in that the cams are mid-level and the push rods are very short, so it has very little valve float or anything like that.
Oh, interesting.
So it revs about 5,000 RPM at max.
Was this purpose-built as a race car engine, or was it used in civilian sedans and whatnot?
The engine actually derives and was used in the street cars, but this is a C model, which was an all-alloy engine. The street cars actually used a cast iron block.
Okay.
But these used more potent twin ignition systems, the alloy block and all alloy components. So this is serial number 11054, which was the last of the Talbot Lago race cars built.
I see. Now these look like later Webers.
The car after when Talbot Lago went bankrupt in 1950 at the San Rafael race in Argentina, this was racing. And I think 52 was racing with Gonzalez driving this one, Fangio driving the other one. They finished 1-2. They then got a telegram saying that they were bankrupt. Talbot Lago was bankrupt, and they were ordered to sell the cars.
Wow.
So the French race driver, Fifi Etienne, then bought the car because he had an earlier version, and he wanted this more potent engine. And so he bought the car, then campaigned it through 54, and somewhere's around 55, 56, the Weber carburetors were put on. Yeah.
I don't. Oh, that early, huh? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought
so it was a really early generation.
Yeah.
Now these are a later carburetor. There's no two ways about that.
Just for fun, what would this car have sold for back in the 50s? It was just an old race car then, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's really funny because after Fifi Etienne sold the car to Jerry Hall, who was an ice skater. He campaigned it here in Southern California. And I know the car sold for in the hundreds of dollars, not thousands of dollars, right?
And what do we have here? That cooling?
Exactly. The car runs a dry sumped engine. And here's a saddle tank, and this carries about 30 quarts of oil.
Okay.
And these are the cooling fins for the oil assembly, which are absolutely exquisite. It's just beautiful.
Well, beautiful.
It runs a pre-selector box.
Oh, look at that, a pre-selected transmission.
That's right. So, and of course, you sit in it straddling that big old pre-selector box. So 1 foot's over here and 1 foot's over.
Let's explain what that is. What pre-selector means is you lead, you put it in first gear, you let out the clutch, and then you put it in second gear while you're still in first gear. You bring it up to, then you just stab the clutch and boom, it shifts automatically. Then you select your next gear. The advantage being, if you come into a corner, you can put it in the gear you want it in, and it'll change gears while you have both hands on the wheel. To me, this is the most beautiful era of race cars.
Yeah.
Modern race cars don't do it so much to me with all the
I'm with you.
aerodynamics and whatnot, and this massive front end here.
Yeah.
Look at that. Well, it's just beautiful. Thanks for taking the time to show it to us.
Jay. It's always a pleasure.
That's a real piece of history. We'll come on, we'll go look at some more stuff. Once again in the pits here at Laguna Seca, talking with probably one of the most ardent Bugatti enthusiasts I've known. This is Jim Hull, and this is a car you've had, what, 30 years, something like that?
32 years.
32 years, and he's been working on it for 32 years, and it's finally finished. If you saw a recent issue of Octane magazine, they did a beautiful story on this car. Is it the August issue?
No, it's September.
September issue of Octane magazine, September 2013. You can read more detail. But we saw this car 3 years ago. It was half finished, and Jim's been working on it all this time, and this is truly a labor of love. Tell us what we have here.
Well, the most obvious part is the body, which is all magnesium. It was known as the Electron Torpedo, and it was shown at the Paris Salon in October of 1935. It was a unique car. It and the Aerolith, which you saw yesterday, which was a prototype of the famous Atlantic Bugatti 57S. So these two cars were there together, but no one could ever prove whether they were really magnesium Electron or not, because both got destroyed or lost during the Second World War. The best thing this car ever did is Jean Bugatti raced this at Montlhéry in 1936 and set a world speed record for a passenger car or a sports car at 129 miles an hour unsupercharged.
Wow.
Then the Bugatti company desperately needed money, so they took the engine out and sold it in a sports car, whereas this was more of a race car. It was the first competition one. So then this was the rest of the car without the body was found in the factory in the 60s with this engine, which is supercharged, and the chassis, which is a very unique shape. It's the only one known in the world. I kept it for 25 years before finally saying, you know, in my lifetime, I better start restoring it.
Well, I did a beautiful job, and magnesium, as we've talked about before, almost impossible to work with. There are only a few guys in the world that could make this body, isn't there?
Yes, yes. And the guy that I found was, well, Phil Riley and company in Corte Madera, California, did the engine and the mechanicals, and they referred to me a guy in Indianapolis, a guy named Jerry Weeks, who is an absolute master of metal forming. And all of these panels were just, you know, it's so thin, you can't take a file to smooth it out.
Right.
That is exactly off of his big power hammer.
Wow.
And it took him 6 years to do the body.
Wow.
After spending all that time with this very special metal, I couldn't stand to paint it. Because then, how can you confirm that it's some exotic metal? So I tried to find a process to preserve magnesium that would be a clear coat. It doesn't exist.
And magnesium deteriorates from the minute you start working on it.
Yeah. Moisture just starts little bubbles of white powder immediately, and it's very thin. It would just bubble through. So I found out after 3 years of research, the very best way in the world to preserve magnesium is to nickel plate it with electroless nickel. And it was a process developed in the mid-30s. Okay. So it could have been this. Yeah. We don't have any idea what the original body was, color or anything, because there was nothing described about it. We have 3 photographs of the original body.
Well, it's very exciting. And I know it must have been incredibly frustrating over the years, wasn't it? Because I remember seeing you all wound up.
Year after year after year. Yeah. And well, it was a very complicated project.
And it's obviously Type 57 running gear.
Yeah, in fact, I'll show you one of the reasons why the engine is very special. It's the only one in the world with a blower virtually double the size.
Yeah,
it puts out double the
blower, isn't it? Yeah.
That's off a 1931 5-liter Grand Prix car, Type 54. But this is the only one in the world that was made by Bugatti, cast to match the 57 manifold.
Wow.
So no one knows. I like to think that Jean Bugatti thought after he set the unsupercharged speed record that he'd do a supercharged one and do it.
But it's just a beautiful, beautiful car. And you know, pictures don't do it justice. You have to see it in person. And this nickel finish is pretty amazing. Look at all the rivets here, and boy, just beautifully, beautifully done. Got your Kai gas and your 4-speed transmission.
Yeah.
Jaeger instruments. Just wonderful. Jim, thanks for preserving a piece of history.
Thank you,
It's
Jay.
really great. It's just
Thank
wonderful.
you for appreciating it.
Oh, it's just wonderful. What a great, great car. You know, there's all kinds of Ferraris and Bugattis and exotic cars, but the real heart of American racing is cars like this here. This is Art Basham, and this is essentially a modified T-engine.
Modified?
Yeah, I mean, this is what racing was all about in the 20s and 30s. You know, although you see the Bugattis and all the fancy cars up here, most American racing was on dirt track, and this is the kind of vehicles they have. Tell us about your car.
Well, this car was built by Vic Sala, who used to be king of the hill for Signal Hill in Southern California, where they had the, everybody showed off their equipment, who was the fastest Model T going up the very fancy steep hill.
So it was like our version of Prescott a little bit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A very short hill, but everybody prepared their cars all year to go about 60 seconds as fast as they could.
Right.
And this is one of those cars where we've changed the rear end, so it's now 3 to 1 instead of 4 to 1.
Okay.
So we get a little bit taller gears at the end on the track like this. But basically, it's the same car that charged Signal Hill.
Were they street cars? I noticed you got headlights on it.
I drive it on the street.
Right. Oh, okay.
Just for fun.
Right.
And so it's a legal car. It's a Rajo 4-valve, which is one of the first of the Rajos. It should pronounce, if you're an aficionado, it's Rajo.
Right.
It's a Rajo head 4-valve and pretty darn quick.
Let's explain what Rajo is. Rajo was one of those aftermarket manufacturers like Frontiac or any of those guys. There was so much, the Model T was really the small block Chevy of the early 20s. There was so much high performance equipment available, and you could take a Model T and put this 4-valve overhead conversion on it. And it's really interesting looking.
Yeah.
And those are rare, aren't they?
These are very rare.
Yeah.
And it runs, when it runs, it really runs quickly.
Now the Model T had 22 horsepower right from the factory. What do you figure you're getting now?
About 45.
45.
So it's a highly modified engine. We just put a Winfield carburetor on it, and that really helps.
It's fun to see all the period equipment, you know, Winfield carburetors. And I noticed, what is that? You have is that a Watsonian? What is the transmission in there?
That's a Ford Warford.
That's what it is, yeah. 3-speed. Now, of course, the Model T had the pedals.
Right.
When you get rid of all that, you put a proper
No, you don't get rid of the pedals.
Oh, you do?
We still have the pedals.
Okay.
So this has the Model T stock transmission, and in back of that we have a we have a 3-speed transmission.
So you keep the planetary. Oh, very good.
Okay.
I noticed no front brakes, right?
No front brakes.
Right,
Model Ts didn't have front brakes.
Yeah, they're built to go, not to stop. Yeah, that's the way.
Yeah.
You're going up the hill, you're not coming down.
That's right.
That's right.
We put a mirror on it just for fun. We never look backwards. We're just looking forward.
And this kind of racing is so much fun. And even this is not cheap. Racing's expensive, but when you have cars like this, there's so much stuff available for the Model T. You know, and it's as much fun as a Bugatti or any of those kind of cars.
Absolutely.
Because you can drive it hard and blow it up. What is this here?
Oh, that's it's called a Fat Man steering wheel.
I got you. Yeah. Gotcha. Okay.
That's so we can get in and out of the cars. Guys with a little girth.
And this is your advance and retard?
Yeah. Yep.
And you have a hand throttle still?
No, this is actually on the mag.
Oh, okay. That's the mag.
And this is actually a dummy.
Oh, I see.
But it used to be the advance.
Okay. Is this functional?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. This is our fuel pump.
Yeah.
You got to pump this thing.
Right.
So on every lap, we have about 3 places on the course. You have to pump to get the fuel pressure up.
Now, are electric fuel pumps illegal in this class?
Not illegal, but this car has an electric fuel pump.
Oh, okay.
But this one is manual.
Now tell us about your other car, a little fancier version of this one, isn't it?
This is a 1921 Rajo 8-valve. Okay?
Wow. Yeah.
It's got the special Rajo BB head, which has 2 spark plugs per cylinder. And
so where did you find those Rajo? Did you build them, or did you buy they're on the car when you got it?
Well, this was on the car when I got it.
Okay.
They're available. There's probably only 15 of them in the whole United States that are running. Pretty rare commodity.
Very nice.
And this car runs really well. We're having problems over here.
Okay. Well, thanks a lot for showing us the car. Really appreciate
Delighted.
it.
And thanks for the advice.
Oh, yeah, thank you. I have a thing for pre-16 cars. This is Mr. Blain. He looks like the original owner of this car, but he's not. He's not 120 years old, but he's got the outfit. And I love the whole deal, the period dress, the car. This is a 1912 Packard. Is this a passenger car made into a race car, or was it a factory race car?
We think it was a passenger car made into a race car. Packard in 1912 didn't really have a factory car. They were all stripped down
Right.
production cars of some sort. This one was actually found in Argentina as a race car. We don't know if it went to Argentina as a race car or if it was made into a race car in Argentina. Came back to the States in about 1955.
Now I've got a Model a 1911 Model 18 that looks like the very same engine.
I think it may be. I think that engine was used for a number of years.
Now is this engine totally stock or modified?
This is completely stock right now. We just put it back. We just finished restoring it about 2 months ago.
Okay.
And we put it all back together as a stock engine, and it turns out it's got quite a bit of power.
Yeah, they do that. Well, it's got quite a bit of torque.
Yeah.
I mean, they really pull.
It pulls up this back hill at Laguna Seca like a mother. It's great.
And what do you have for the stock transaxle transmission?
Yep, stock transaxle. We kept the original gearing in it, which is about right for the racetrack.
Okay. You know, it's funny, people think transaxles are something new and European, but Stutz did it and Packard had it in 1911. I mean, the transmission's in the back. It's a pretty advanced car for the period. And you got plenty of leg room, and this is what they call a total loss system, right?
Yeah.
You just fill that up with oil, and you go.
Yeah. And as that copper tank empties of oil, drains into the crankcase, and over time it will overflow the crankcase. So each day we have to drain a couple of quarts of oil out, add a little bit more. Back then they would just take it out of the crankcase, put it into the tank, and just reuse it over and over again. And what we normally do is we'll drain it down at the bottom of the pan. There's 2 petcocks there, and that's the oil level that they like to keep. And then if you need to empty the tank out, we use that spigot.
And what's top speed, about 60, 55?
You know, we haven't had it up with a radar gun or anything yet, but I would think it's probably closer to 70. It's got the power to go that fast, it's just the gearing.
Yeah, and it's enough to scare you.
But it's a smooth running car. Brakes are marginal, as you would expect.
Yeah, brakes are, marginal is the key word.
Yeah.
Boy, nicely done.
We just finished. It took us about 6 months to restore it. We got it done just in time for the big race at Sonoma.
Well, it looks beautiful. It looks beautiful. You going to make a street car out of it?
No,
Can you drive it on the street?
It was originally came into the country as a race car. The fellow who had it for the last 55 years literally spent 50 years gathering up parts to make it back into a street car. And we decided, you know, it was a race car, we want to leave it as a race car.
Well, couldn't you just put plates on it and drive it as is?
Could.
That's what you do.
Yeah, that's what we'll do.
I mean, it's fun to take it out through the hills.
We do that with the others.
Boy, it's beautiful.
We haven't got the carburetor just right. On the track, I've got to lean it out, and so I kick it with my foot to one side, and then when it come in, the engine dies, so I got to kick it the other way.
Any reason it's number 16?
Billy Campbell raced a Packard like this, only one of 3 cars. We don't know if this is the same car or not.
Right.
But he raced in Visalia, California, where I live, and won the race. And in 1913, this photo you see here is a picture of Billy Campbell.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, look at that.
So what we did is we copied all of the same numbering and everything. We're still researching it. We don't know if it was Billy Campbell's car, but we went ahead and restored it so that it looks just like his car.
And here's your fuel tank here. Is it both gas or is one oil?
One oil and one gas.
Okay.
Right now we use them both for gas.
How do you start it? Will she start on the crank?
Hand start,
With mag?
Yeah.
Wow.
We put an inertia coupler on it.
Oh, okay.
And that's the only way we'd be able to start it. Without the inertia coupler, we'd never be able to do it. But it starts real easy. First click.
Well, it's beautifully done. Thanks for showing it to us.
Enjoyed it.
We're going to show you a car that is the complete opposite of Pebble Beach. This is totally unrestored. I don't care. We're not doing anything to this car. Look at this. 1923 Model T, right?
That's correct.
And this is what they call a depot hack?
That's right.
These were built to what? Pick up people at the railroad station with their luggage?
Take them to the motel, the local inn. And it's just for general hauling and transport as well.
Now, you were telling me a funny story. You want to take this to a Woody show, and it really is a Woody, isn't it?
That's correct. Kind of the original idea of a Woody right there.
So, you know, it's so perfectly old, it almost looks like you got one of those antiquing kits and put the patina on it, but that's the way you found it,
This is the way it was. We found it about 7 years ago in a barn, pulled it out, and we did get it running the next day after we pulled it out, after it had been parked since 1951.
It's been parked since 51?
Right.
Are those the original tires?
No. We
you
did
put
have to put new tires on.
New tires on it, okay.
But About 3 months ago, we decided to actually get it out and get it driving. Took us 2 weeks to put everything all together, make sure everything was safe on it. The lights work, the horn works, everything works on the car.
You know, Model Ts are the greatest antique car and the least expensive. You know, Model Ts have been anywhere from $85,000 to $14,000 for the last 30 years.
Right.
And there's no antique car that's more fun to drive and restore, especially if you're new to the hobby. I mean, they're great. They're a lot of fun. Can we open the hood?
Well, yeah, it's gonna take a minute. I gotta
Oh, you
untie
gotta
the
take a
ropes.
minute. You don't want to touch the antique rope.
Well, that's all fine. We can do it.
There you go. Look at that. Looks like you cleaned up the carburetor.
I had to clean the fuel system up on a little bit and did a little bit of wiring work on it, but pretty much everything else is the way it was when it was parked in 51.
You know, T's are great. There's nothing to break. There's no water pump. There's no fuel pump.
No oil pump.
No oil pump. Yeah. Will she start up?
Absolutely.
Let's see if it starts up.
Just like that. It's got an exhaust leak back here.
Oh, well, hey, look how loose you are there.
I know, it's falling apart.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, but it hasn't fallen apart completely, so it's still there.
Oh,
Hanging on.
beautiful.
Actually, do you want to drive it around? Because I know you know how to operate it.
Oh, I know how to operate a T. Let's see here.
To make sure the brake doesn't go forward. Those bands are a little loose. Let me lower the hood down for you. There you go.
Hop in.
Horn work.
Get that French piece of crap out of there. How you doing? How are you?
Good.
Oh, she drives nicely.
It's not too bad, really. I mean, we haven't touched it in
Where'd you kill?
oh, just pull it back and then the ignition up there.
Oh, there we go. Cool. Thanks.
You're welcome. Thank you.
That was a lot of fun.
Great running tea.
Oh, it's a great running tee. Well, that's pretty much it for Laguna Seca. I hope you enjoyed looking around the pits as much as I did, because I love that more than the race. I love seeing the technical stuff, especially the really early cars. I love the history of this place. And I guess we'll see you next week. It's a little noisy here.
Mm-hmm.